All right, welcome back to the Surly Talk Sports podcast, the one podcast for the week, the preview and the review off the back of Magic Round. Obviously landed back Monday arvo after a hectic weekend over in Brizzy. Shit, was that unreal. More on that shortly. Then jumped straight onto League Lounge. Tuesday, I was just sick of talking, so I thought let's have a couple days to recover, and now we are ready to rip in again. Shout out to everyone who messaged asking where Surly Set of 6 was, where the Monday review was. Sorry to let you down a little bit there, but this is the one pod of the week. We'll make sure we try go in depth on all things WARS, cover off the other games, and then really look forward to this week because there is a lot going on in the sporting world at the moment. Shout out to the TAB and Michelob Ultra, as always, for their support. There is a code this week too. The TAB code this week is CHIP. C-H-I-P. I'm guessing they're doing it like a chip and chase. They've just left off the and chase. Is that your thoughts there, Henry?
Yeah, I'm sick of the word chip, I think, over the last week. But yeah.
And place a bet on the Bulldogs versus Storm game. And if it loses, get your bonus bet matched up to $20 to use on anything. So first try scorer, second, two or more anytime, winning team margin, golden point, the works. Use that on your Friday night game, Bulldogs versus Storm. If it hits, happy days. If it doesn't, you'll have some bonus cash there ready to go for that Warriors game on the Saturday. So get amongst that. We mentioned Magic Round there. Both of us were there, mate. This was your first time. For me, it is the greatest NRL weekend, and every year it just reminds me how good it is, and every year it seems to get bigger and better. As a first-timer, bro, I sold it to you. I said you were going to love it. Did it live up to the hype?
Yeah, it's funny because I didn't really need much more selling as it is, but then when you sold it to me more, I was like, shit, this must actually be really good. Unreal. Couldn't believe how good it was. I think the first day was unreal. Like Friday afternoon, walking into the Caxton at like 1 o'clock, and the song Heaven was playing as we walked in. Beers in hand. It was it was so good. Well, I actually only missed one half of footy. And that was
crazy.
It was crazy, yeah. So we decided that we're going to go all that way. And we spent a lot of time in the Caxton, so don't come at me saying, oh, you should have spent more time at the pubs, because we did. Spent more than enough time there. But yeah, we only missed one half of footy. The Knights Titans on the Sunday, obviously we were a bit busy with the Hikoi down Caxton Street with the Warriors fans, so that was good fun. So we only missed the first half of the Knights game, stayed for every other minute really of the game, so that was unreal. Loved it, absolutely loved it. We're at 3 different parts of the stadium, so got sort of a different angle. Suncorp is just brilliant, and yeah, can't recommend it enough. Bit dusty on Monday, but yeah, so needed the day off, but it was good.
Look, my weekend was quite the opposite. I watched one game of footy out of the whole weekend. I had tickets to all 3 days, and the only game I watched was the Warriors versus the Broncos. So, yeah, we did things slightly contrasting, but, man, Caxton Street itself, like you mentioned that Hikoi on the Sunday, that was crazy scenes. At one stage, I had to jump on a megaphone and tell people to move further down the road. The police and security were worried that we were going to cause like some type of risk blocking off Caxton Street. There were that many Warriors fans there. It was insane. The atmosphere, like I legit reckon they said 10,000 or 8,000 Warriors fans travelled over from New Zealand to this. As they were reading out the Broncos team list, every Broncos player was getting booed, every Warriors player was getting a massive cheer, and it didn't stop for all 19 players. Suncorp and Caxton Street was well and truly Warriors Nation, and it was pitched as our home game. It legit was. I thought it was going to be a little bit more even, but I don't know if we're just more vocal or if we were there in bigger numbers, but Warriors fans, once again, for probably the 3rd or 4th year in the row, owned Magic Round, and we did it up against the home team.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we've complained about it being a home game in the past, or at least I think we have on the podcast. But I'm not complaining at all because it was a home game. Yeah. It was home territory. It wasn't like for the lads. I'm sure it was a little bit odd being at Suncorp and being a home game, but it didn't feel like an away game. And yeah, that booing. I mean, I was part of the booing, so that was so I was helping that. But yeah, no, it was great. The Warriors fans were unreal. Thursday, our flight full of Warriors fans. Sunday, geez, there was some dusty people on Monday on the flight home. Couple of people that I saw multiple times get up to go to the bathroom, probably spilling their guts out. But yeah, no, it was just an unreal weekend. And geez, we were heckling the Broncos fans on Sunday afternoon, evening. So it was good.
Especially with that performance. I only bumped into you, twice? Once at the start of the Hikoi, once near the end of the game.
Yeah.
What was that green liquid you had in your hand? Because that shit looked like like lightsaber juice, like
Mate,
acid.
It was unbelievable. So they were like tequila slushies, like lime, vodka, passion fruit. They had like multiple different ones. Yeah, so up in the top level. First day we were up in the top level and they had these like slushy things. Oh, and they were dangerous, man. They were absolutely dangerous.
It was great. Unreal. I was down on the field and I just hear this drunk voice, like, Silly, and I was like, no way, it's Henry. And bro, I will say shout out to everyone got photos with and stuff at the Hikoi. It was sick to see. A lot of people loving the pod, which is epic. Even had one bloke be like, Silly, you're the man. Where's producer Henry?
Yeah, oh, good.
So you've got some fan mail, mate.
Fan mail.
You've won people over. Shout out to all the Warriors fans, though. That is the perfect example of how to be a mega fan, show your fandom, create a heck of an atmosphere, but also not cause any trouble, still be respectful. Get around your team, the chants and everything was elite, but I don't think Bulldogs fans would have any complaints about us. Like, even listening to Matty Johns and that, they're saying, how good are Warriors fans?
Yeah, and travelling away to watch your team play is a different level. Like, I've done it a couple of times for Auckland FC, and just travelling away to a different stadium where you're an away team, I know we were the home team, but the away team, like, it's a different level of fandom. You feel like part of the team. You feel like you're important. And
it's like a family vibe too,
and you just can't beat it. So for anyone that hasn't been to an away game for their team, like supporting in a different country or a different state, like you need to do it.
Pretty crazy too. That Sunday, 4 p.m., that was the biggest ever viewed game in NRL history for that time slot. Warriors, Broncos, Sunday 4 p.m. That was the number one most viewed. They said 6.5 million Australians tuned into Magic Round.
That's a lot. Oh, into Magic Round as a whole.
Yes, Magic Round as a whole, up 15% on last year's, making it the number one most watched Magic Round of all time, and it was the number one most viewed round on Foxtel of all time. So NRL Magic Round continuing to just get bigger and bigger. And you can see why it really is a celebration of all things footy. And not just that, right? You're walking down the street, there's DJs, the road's closed, all the pubs, you got Matty Johns, you got all these guys just getting around, having themselves a heck of a time. I saw Fletcher and Heine down on the sideline, and they were getting ready to do a live cross, doing sniffing salts just to get themselves ready to go because they were absolutely on one. Got to say, it was sick being on Suncorp too. Got to do the Pukana cam and things like that and do some content with the Warriors. That field was fucked. I could think it played a small part in Tanah Boyd, which we'll touch on shortly too, but just being down on that field, atmosphere electric, and it's just a celebration of all things great with God's game. So
yeah. He's
still got the chant going through his head. Unmatched scenes. We will dive into that Warriors-Broncos game. Of course, 42 points to 12. An extremely impressive performance. The Warriors, I thought, dominated for the full 80 minutes on both sides of the ball. Even despite going down to 12 men at one stage, we actually won that period too. And although we let in a try to Adam Reynolds, I thought we still looked really good. Scored a couple ourselves, some great tries as well. I think our four-pack once again set the tone through the middle. Aaron Clark, an absolute weapon. When he carries the ball, he runs so hard. His ball-playing ability is insane. His organising on attack, and we keep referencing he grew up as a half, as a 9. When you watch him in person in a stadium like Suncorp, where it's quite steep and you're a little bit elevated, you can see him just standing behind the ruck, marshalling troops. He really is another playmaker. I thought defensively we were so aggressive as well. It is so nice to be dominant on both sides of the ball. And it's not just our middles. Guys like Demi and Fish putting in big shots. A few times there, Ali coming in off his edge just read it perfectly. Shit does Reece Walsh know about Ali Lautaua. He got him on a few good occasions. But just the energy, the swagger, the confidence our team carries themselves with, they are celebrating every little win, and then when we score points, it's like we've literally just won the game. They just look so connected, and I think we have the perfect mix of youth, experience, leadership, and young guys getting an opportunity. We've said before we look so balanced, but I think the weekend was the perfect example of that. Like, we lost one of our star players, our lead playmaker, in the first 6 minutes, and we went on to put 42 points on last year's champs. And yes, they're missing players, but things didn't exactly go our way either. I just thought this was a foot-on-the-throat performance, and the most pleasing thing for me, arguably, every time the Broncos scored points, we had an instant reaction. We scored within the next 5 to 10 minutes straight after that. Because when the Broncos scored straight after halftime, I thought, shit, here we go. This is going to make it interesting. But then I think it was 2 quick tries off the back of that, and it's good night nurse, and we were just foot on the throat the whole time, which is what bloody good teams do.
Yeah, it was a polished performance. I was impressed with how we sort of balanced. You used that word quite a lot there, and I agree, because we never looked really flustered, and we sort of, I noticed when we scored the tries, everyone was sort of having little conversations. I noticed Fish and Cape actually, after one of the first tries, had a quick little conversation before celebrating with everyone, and Cape was pretty passionate. He was like pointing at the line, and he was like saying something to Fish, and I could sort of understand that actually the leadership that we've got across the paddock, and the youthful, the like power that we've got, the ability we've got from each player and everyone, how they know their role is just incredible. Like, we've seen balanced. We're just on top of everything, our skill sets, everything, like our catch, pass, our shape. It's just exceptional. I haven't seen that good of a performance, sort of where everything really went right, and we balanced with maybe some tough moments, like with the AKP 10 in the bin and that Reynolds try straight after halftime. We adjusted well to that kind of stuff, and I was really impressed. I think it was well coached. Like, for Tamari Martin to just be able to come in and just sort of ice the game, really. Yeah. Just after Tanah Boyd's injury, it was just impressive. And yeah, it was a performance that impressed me less about the score and more just about the way we actually did it.
Yeah, I think there's a real demand from our leaders to keep getting better and to be relentless and to not drop off. When you look at the stats from this game, they're actually really pretty even, like 11 errors each, 31 tackles missed compared to 30, only a 70-metre kick difference. Yes, the Broncos had that penalty count, 13-5. They were really poor discipline-wise, though, and I think of those 13, and I see Broncos fans complaining, but I think at least 9 or 10 of them are 100% justified, and then there's a couple there that you could perhaps debate, but I don't think it was the referee doing us any favours. I just think the Broncos were really poor in that aspect, more than anything else. And I think fatigue brings on errors, and when you're rolling through the middle and then putting hurt on defensively too, and you're just out on your feet, you're going to make dumb decisions like Jordan Ricky taking Tantua Piki off the ball. There was a lot of kick obstruction stuff. There was a lot of lying in the ruck. Repeat 6 again, so Paddy Carrigan got sent. I thought Aaron Clark dominated Paddy Carrigan through the middle too and made his day pretty tough, but for me, those penalties were justified.
Yeah, a lot of them were. I think it's maybe a little bit lopsided. Like, there's a little bit, probably too many of them probably we deserved. Not saying that it was where we won the game. I don't think Ashley Klein had his best game he's ever refereed.
No, but does he ever?
No, he doesn't ever. But I just mean
Origin referee game 1, correct. By the way.
I just mean that, like, I think that there's a little bit of, maybe he was a bit easier on us. That's my opinion. I think that I don't think he had a great game. We completely dominated the game and deserved to win, and the Broncos were well off it. And a lot of those penalties were justified. I don't think he had a great game. What about the Reece Walsh thing? What do you think about the head knock?
Staying down and then getting
he was staying down and looked like and then Wade Egan didn't really stay down, but looked really dazed when I watched it back, and he should have probably gone for
Wade should have gone off. Wade should have gone off 100%. When they kept showing it on the replay, I thought, oh yeah, they're going to pull him there, and they didn't, which I found interesting.
Especially because who it is.
Yeah.
That to me is the most odd thing. If it was someone who hasn't had many head knocks, I could sort of understand it. Not that I'm like showing that it doesn't matter, but
for the Walshy one, I'm quite happy. Like, if guys stay down and it's nothing major, I'm happy that if they're going to kill time and milk it, then they have to go for an HIA. It reminds me, like, similar in football, right? When you're injured, off you go, you come back on, basically, and it's like a punishment for milking. Really?
Yeah, I agree. I just thought that was an interesting one because I definitely thought Wade should have gone. So
Wade should have gone.
And Broncos fans are complaining about it.
Yeah, Wade should have gone, 100%, and it does worry me about his head and his body moving forward. I'm so stoked we have Sam Healy, who is a heck of a footballer. But in terms of standouts from that game, I wanted to highlight Dallin Watene-Zelezniak, who I think is quietly having an unreal season and, of course, faced a lot of adversity last year from Warriors fans at times and comments. A lot of people saying that he probably shouldn't have been in the team. This year, he has been exceptional. Across 10 games so far, he scored 12 tries, 25 tackle breaks, 132 average running metres per game. He takes some of the toughest carries in the game. Coming out of our own end, set D-line, no regard for his body, zero handbrakes, just screams into the opposition middles. 89% tackle efficiency. He's missed one tackle in the last 5 games. When you break down our defense and where we're conceding points, it's really interesting. So both our right and left edges have conceded 11 tries each. We've conceded 8 through the middle. So that's 37% on our left, 37% on our right, 28% through our middle. Last year it was 60% on our right, 26% on our left, 14% on our middle. That is a massive improvement from our right side defence. And yes, I think Dallin is reading things a little bit better potentially, but I also think it comes down to consistency of centre pairings and just that edge as a whole being a lot more certain in their role responsibility. When Ali shoots, Dal goes with him as well. It's not just one or two. I think our second rows have been a whole lot better defensively as well. And I think as a result, we are seeing a defensive system that is not letting Dal down like it did last year at times, and that's resulting in him looking a whole lot better. Like we saw it with that intercept, right? He is defensively making really good reads. I feel like he kind of always has. He's just been let down a little bit on his inside. And I've been passionate about this, but it's cool to see Dallin this year starting to get his flowers again. He is having an unreal year, man.
I agree with everything you've said. I think the defensively we have improved, and actually that right side has improved because of the centre pairing. I agree that the way that they're doing things, the system that they're doing, I just feel like they're making more right decisions. While I agree with that and what I've just said, I also think it's a bit of social media narrative that's actually changed. Like we've seen SJ talk a lot about how it's not actually Dallin's fault a lot of the time, and that it's the system, and that he's doing what actually Webster wants him to do, and that you've said a lot of the time that Dallin actually isn't shutting as much as Webby wants him to. So I actually think there's a bit of social media narrative that's changed because people are listening to guys like SJ and maybe us. I
hope so.
Going that actually it's not Dallin or it's the system, and then they've actually gone at Andrew Webster. Not that it's his fault, but gone at the system more than it is Dallin. So I think that's also another point to think about.
I hope so. And I think Lecker deserves some credit too. His ability to shift off, maybe because he's a bit younger, a bit more explosive, he can cover ground quicker too, but I think he's helped shore up that right edge massively as well. Like Dal, 2 tries in this game, 1 intercept. Was a little bit worried he was on the treadmill there.
I thought he was done for.
That was crazy work. But hey, like he said, he put up an Instagram post yesterday and the caption was just fast enough. And that's exactly what he was. 216 run meters, 100% tackles made. Yeah, him and Ali out there, they have some X factor, man. Ali, obviously the young bull that can hit hard, but then Dallin with his finishing. That was a great combination. I thought Tane was really good off the boot in particular. Of course, Tanah Boyd, gutted for him, and we should talk about that. The ACL. I still think that Suncorp surface has a part to play. It rips up so easily. You could see he lost his footing a little bit there. I think the Fox commentary even suggested he might have stood in a bit of a pothole, but it was just the turf digging up. We saw injuries throughout the weekend. We saw Reece Walsh even slip over in the in goal like a guaranteed try. Being down on the field, it was like it was a golf course at the end of a charity golf game, a bunch of hackers that don't know how to play. There was just divots everywhere. That thing was ripping up. And much as I love Suncorp as a fan, I do wonder if, 9 games of footy is just too much for that venue. Because I think if you go into some stats, historically, Suncorp has not led, but it has led to a few of these injuries in the past.
It's an interesting one. And I heard a physio say the other day about the injury, and that sometimes soft grounds can be the cause of it, and actually sometimes the firm ground can be the issue for it. So I don't think it's a definitive thing whether or not Suncorp had an impact. But yeah, the pitch, it's an odd one because we saw at Super Round the Christchurch pitch. I know that's brand new, so that's a different story, but that held up brilliantly. And I think other stadiums that's hosted Magic Round and Super Round and stuff, some of the fields are much better than what Suncorp's is. Suncorp has never really had a great field for a number of games, has it?
Nah.
So it's a bit of an odd one. I don't know how they sort of fix that.
Yeah, I think they've ripped it up a couple times and tried to relay it and stuff. It must
odd.
be to do with the environment, right, and the Brisbane conditions. But overall, just gutted for Tanner. Like, obviously having an unreal year. I feel like the whole nation had got around him. You can tell his teammates love him, the amount of support he has had since then. Heartbreaking scenes seeing him in the sheds with his parents and tears. I actually saw him that morning, and he is just the nicest guy, man. He was out and about in Brisbane, really looking forward to this game, of course, from that area, and I just really feel sorry for him moving forward as well. Obviously, the Warriors, we all believe, well, I certainly do, are going to go on to do something pretty special this year. And it's almost now the fact that, yes, he is a part of it, but when you're not playing each week, you do not feel as a part of it as if you are out there ripping in with your teammates. I feel like now he is going to have to sit back and watch the success when he probably should be playing a massive part in it or a starring role in it. And for that, I feel really sorry for him. Also, rehab is a lonely place, man. And over the next 6 to 9 months, he is going to have to spend a lot of time basically on his own, separated from his teammates, going about his bike and stuff. He'll still be involved in the environment, but you're not as locked in as you are when you're playing, and I just don't think he deserves that. Sport is such a cruel game. I feel like he's right at the top, right, and how quickly you can be brought back down to basically starting again.
It's heartbreaking, really. Like, an ACL injury is bad enough in itself for your average punter playing on a Saturday afternoon, but for that, it's just, it's cruel. Playing unreal footy, just on top of everything, looked solid, understood his role, had that little pep in his step almost, like knew exactly what he was doing each play, and he's in unreal form. He was in with a shout of Origin, he was in and around the group and whatever, and just the timing of it is just ironic, and just the way it all played out. I think it's gone a little bit under the radar because we had a massive win. I feel like if it wasn't a massive win or we'd lost, it would be a little bit more talked about, I would have thought. So it's lucky in that sense, I think, Warriors fans and the group. But it's heartbreaking, especially because what's happened in the last week with Metcalf. And
the timing is mental, right? And it was good to hear Cam George come out and say, no, we won't be entertaining a backflip. Both parties have made their decision. It is what it is. Just thoughts and prayers with Tanner. Hopefully the recovery goes well. And I'm looking forward to watching his comeback next year, because that forward pack is still going to be there. The core nucleus of the team will be there, and I have no doubts he will be back as well. Cool to hear that Chanel, Tamaide and Tanner all set to put pen to paper this week on extensions too. So that is great news for Warriors fans. Do have to credit Tamaide Martin as well. To be able to come into the game 6 minutes in off the back of only one hit out for New South Wales Cup, then the bye, and put in that type of performance, 2 try assists and a try. Both assists, great to watch too, like individual brilliance. This bloke's 30 years old, he's 31 in October. He is so silky, and of course, he's been in the environment for a while now, and I think that certainly helped the performance. He has played a lot of footy with Tane last year in Cup. He's played a lot of footy with Chanel and Wade in first grade. His awareness to know when Wade is going to run led to that try. Wade spotted a quick ruck, went straight through, pushing up on his outside as Tamaide. I'm not sure if a Tanah Boyd or someone like that would have been there. That was just instinctive stuff, and T brings something a little different, but it is such a luxury to be able to slot a Kiwi international like that straight in, and for him to hit his straps and perform at that level, when he probably prepared to, there was a possibility to play. Yeah, he said he didn't. I saw that, and that's typical chill T.
Yeah.
But of course, he's going through the reps each week. He's probably more mimicking what Adam Reynolds and that are going to do to help the team prepare. But I think quietly he's extremely confident in his game. I think the team are confident in his game. And it just feels nice having Tamaide there, having Luke back from next week, which a lot of people don't clearly watch press conferences after games. Everyone's saying, where's Lukey this week? Webby said he wouldn't be available for selection this week. He will be next week. But just having Tamaide there, this is exactly why you need depth in first grade sides, because for a whole bunch of other clubs, losing your starting 7, it's practically season over. But not for us when you have a guy like Tamaide Martin to slot in.
The best thing about this for me is that the type of player that Tamaide Martin is, because he came into that game and sort of didn't change the way that we were playing. It almost didn't impact him just sliding in there and just taking up Tanah Boyd's role. Like, we didn't notice that much of a change, or at least I didn't, because I knew...
It's a fair call. Both of them aren't overly ball-dominant sevens, right? They're happy to play in a system. And Tamaide's 2 try assists were...
brilliant.
Like... chef's kiss playmaking. The no-look kick like stop it, and then to be able to catch that pass in an awkward position,
behind you,
regather, and just float it into space. So delicate, but as T said, and as you were alluding to then, he kind of let CHT, he let Wado, he let Tane do
That's
their
how
thing.
confident we are.
Yeah,
at the
and
moment.
then he just compliments in, and I think off the back of our 4-pack, right, any 7 would love to be in that position to play behind our 4-pack. But then when you also look at the balance of our playmakers, there is so much going on, and Aaron Clark adds to that as well. There are so many people just doing their own job and controlling their own area of the field that it makes something like T coming in a little bit easier.
It wasn't a big deal. Like, no one made a big deal of it when it came on. It was like, Tamata Martin got a big cheer by the crowd. I'm not saying that helped him, but it definitely gave you confidence that actually they were running the same plays. There was the same things happening. We were just going out the back. They were trusting Tamati Martin to get on the ball, make decisions, and it just gives you confidence. And I know Next Man Up's talked about way too much probably in sport, and it's very cliche, but like everyone just backed him to do his job, and he did exactly that. So I like what Tamati Martin's going to bring. If it's Metcalf in a week or two, I actually think that changes the dimension because he's a completely different player, needs the ball more. It's going to be more of a running 7. So that's an interesting makeup. It's probably a discussion for next week. But yeah, love what Tamati Martin did.
It will be interesting. The thought of having all of them out there, if we are in an arm wrestle with Penrith down by 2 points, and you could bring a Lukey Met off the bench late when it's tiring, and because T is so versatile, so is Chanel. Like, both could play 14 easily. So the thought of even having Lukey on that 6-man bench and bringing him in late, you move T into the pack. He played lock for Cup when he came back a couple of weeks ago. Like, that excites me too if we're chasing a game. I do think Metcalf is going to have an important role to play.
Do you think he'll start next week?
I'm not sure they would chuck him straight back into starting, especially now that his future next year is
6-man
sorted.
bench.
It's probably less urgency to show him that he is the 7. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's 6-man bench, or if they just go Cup, then we've got the bye, and then they bring him back in after that.
I'd like to see them go with TMM if it goes well this weekend. I'd like to
100%.
see him continue with them.
And I think it was no debate that he would start this week, right?
100%. For some of
even
us.
if you didn't know Metcalf wasn't available, I think the performance Tamati put in is outstanding, and I think the players really respond to him. They love.
They respect him.
Yeah.
They respect him. They know what he's about, and they know that it's going to fit, right?
Yeah. So we're in a good place. System over superstar, and it kind of shows out again, right? Aaron Clark, I mentioned him, outstanding. Fish, Barney, Jacko Ford, all really good. Love Demi off the bench. I just really enjoy watching him play, and the person he is too, right? When he's celebrating in front of the stands at the ends, like, he brings that energy. Him, Ali, they are characters that carry a bit of swagger with them. They're team first people too, but like leading the team song, you know, this team has a whole vibe about it, and I think it's because the leaders, the older boys, allow the young boys to do their thing, and they've kind of bought into it too. Like, everyone just seems on the same page and really comfortable with being themselves. And I think Demi's a guy that's authentically himself, and it shows in his game, with his energy, with his no bullshit, back fences. Like, there was that tackle there before Wade goes through and Tomato scores, where Demi's standing in the tackle. He's got Xavier Willison round his legs. He's got 2 up top, and he's laughing, looking at Xavier Willison, laughing, plays the ball, and we go to score. Like, that kind of sums Demi up to me. Like, he's happy to chirp away, have a laugh at him, and be like, you can't take me to the ground, bro. We go straight through and score. I love Dimitri Vaimonga. Watching him play off the bench. We've said future captain, I believe it. And just the guy he is off the paddock too, leading the team song. He's a vibe.
Did you see him when the cameraman got the wrong?
Oh,
God, that was unreal.
That was so good.
So good.
So, you know the best thing about it too? I had someone message me and go, bro, have you seen this video? What an idiot. He thought Lecker scored the try, but it was Ali. And I was like, bro, that is Demi. That is not Lecker. Yeah. So old mate had got it wrong as well.
So
I was like,
the
come
Fox
on,
guy,
mate.
the Fox guy was recording Ali Lautaro.
Yeah.
And it was recording Demi, and Ali Lautaro was the one scored. And Demi's like, why is the camera on me? He said, it's not me.
He was like,
pointing
it was him. And
switches.
Everyone always gets Demi and Lecker around the wrong way, and I don't really get it. But yeah, this guy got it wrong too. He was like, what an idiot. I was like, mate, you probably need to check yourself because you just got that one wrong as well. Bench outstanding again, and when you get guys like Tanner and that, who didn't get minutes off the back of Tanah Boyd going down, but they are ready to rip as well. It's just impressive. Captain's run too. Like, you could tell this performance was coming The boys are just locked in, eh? They rock up and they are the ultimate professionals. They have fun, don't get me wrong. There's a cool vibe. But when it's time to get shit done, they're just methodical. So good to see us humming. Second best D in the comp. Panthers best D in the comp in their first. Manly sitting in fourth and they're the third best D. So it's nice to see that even in an era where there's so many points scored, defence still matters.
Oh, it still wins championships, defence.
There we go. There's the cliche.
There it is.
Love that. Great win, great result, great weekend, bloody good fun. Other results of note, we'll gloss over these a little bit quickly or else we'll be here for 3 hours. Sharks smoked the Doggies. That was a heck of a way to kick off Magic Round. I thought that was going to be a close one. You tipped the Sharkies. I went the unders.
How did the tips go? You've done it?
The tipping. We'll do it at the end. Yeah, but I was a little bit surprised at the scoreline, Dogs and all sorts.
Yeah, and all sorts, really. That was it was funny because I was sitting up top in the second half when the Doggies were attacking. And I think I said to my mate and the guys in front of us, we were like, Lockie Galvin made every wrong pass the whole game. And it was so odd because, like, I'm not saying he's a bad player because I think he's talented. He's got a lot going for him and will be a great NRL player. But it was crazy how many bad options he took.
He's not a 7.
He's not a 7. It just, like, every pass was like, nope, the short one was on.
Yeah, it's because they're chasing points.
Yeah.
Right? They've lost 5 in a row now and they're averaging 14 points per game.
It's not enough, eh?
It is not enough. And Galvin can be so good, but I feel like he needs a dominant ball player at the 7, a game driver, and then just allow him to pick his moments. Finns, pump the bunnies. That was a good watch, man. Like, the Finns were already good, and this is more the Finns we expected at the start of the year, right? But once you chuck in a Cody Nikorima, and I know got injured in this game, but you chuck in a Jeremy Marshall-King, all of a sudden that attack is back, and their defense has been a whole lot better this year, or over the last month or so. And, like, both sides of the ball now, they are looking like a top 8 side for sure.
Yeah, the way that they stop the bunnies so often in the first half I thought was really impressive. They just sort of got rid of their massive game drivers, like they pissed Cody Walker off, and it just like it was all good. Like I love what they brought, and like you said, Max Plath, like I can see why he got picked in Origin. Just unreal.
Plath.
What a guy! Like unreal. I mean, one of the times they went left and they should have gone right. They had huge numbers right, but yeah, it was just a great win, and that is the Dolphins that we've sort of been hoping that we were going to see all year.
Everyone enjoys watching the Finns.
Yeah,
they're one of those teams, right? They're entertaining, and when their ball players and the hammer and all that are on, they're a treat to watch. Cowboys 18-12. We both got this one wrong over the Roosters. For me, this was a cool game to watch purely because it was defensive-based, and in so many games now, even over the weekend, it's 40-point. High scoring, one team's on 40, one's on 12. It's a bit of a hiding, right? 60 total points. This one was a good old-fashioned 30 total points. I thought the Cowboys defended really well, even being down to 12 for 20 minutes of this game. I think they showed up with a different attitude. Like, when you think Cowboys, you don't think defense. We both thought this was going to be a high-scoring shootout. I thought Jake Clifford was really good. I thought he got the better of Sam Walker in what was supposedly an Origin audition, so maybe it wasn't that at all. But I was impressed with the Cows here, despite missing, like, Tamalolo was rested. Maybe that was a masterstroke.
Yeah, we've talked often about the Cows sort of not really fronting up, or they've front up one week and then just absolute rubbish the next week. So it was cool to see them actually front up. I was sitting, fun story, I was sitting next to Jackson Purdue's parents.
Oh, there you go.
Family.
Did you recruit them to the Warriors?
We didn't. We tried. Well, nice. We mentioned the Warriors. But I just thought they all had a great game. Defensively, they were strong. There was a lot of people back in the Cowboys. I think based on the fact that they didn't like the Roosters more than the fact they were Cowboys fans. So there was a lot of heckling going there. But yeah, great performance from them. It was strong.
Fun story there. I was actually in Vegas with Ethan Strange's dad watching the game, and I didn't realise. He was like, my son plays Ethan, and I was like, oh, Ethan Strange, heck of a footballer. Didn't realise he was like the women's Origin coach and all that type of stuff, and I was like trying to talk shape and shit as if I was like telling him all about it, and like his dad was a fucking good footballer and literally a top line coach, and I was like, mate, bring him across, and he was like, oh, that's his second favourite team.
How good?
It's the Warriors, so...
There we go.
If Strange does come, it's all down to me.
Yeah, we'll claim it.
Great stuff. Storm and Knights for me, summing those two
Storm
games
and Knights.
up. Sorry, like the
2 games.
The 2 games. The Storm and the Knights, both great on attack in their wins. I think that Storm's spine was so impressive.
Very good.
They are a treat to watch when they are on, and it's kind of nice to see them back playing some good football because they are exciting to watch. And the Knights, for me, although KP wasn't in his best form, they are fast becoming one of my favourite sides to watch as well. Just the way they move the ball. They've got that underdog pack that really punches above their weight. Some great second rowers. I love watching Dylan Lucas play. And then their edges with KP, Brown, and Fletcher Sharp pulling the strings. They're a great watch. It's like high-octane footy, and some of those tries they score are just beautiful.
Yeah, we knew they've got the talent, right, with Ponga and Dylan Brown. They just had to sort of get it together and actually play together as a team, which we didn't see earlier in the season. But yeah, they're coming right. The Storm, yeah, and one thing we noticed actually sitting behind the goal on that game is that the amount of work that Suafa'alongo does is actually
off the ball.
The ball is just nuts.
Yeah.
Like, you don't often see it on TV. Like, you can't because it cuts off on the line and you don't see behind the line. But they defended 3 or 4 sets on their line and he went from side to side each play. It was like an 80-metre sprint to cover at each play. It was just an unreal work rate. I don't think people understand that enough.
Just on that, because I feel like Reece Walsh's work defensively in this game might have cost him an origin spot because he was caught out of position a fair few times.
And we exploited it too.
Yeah, so you get to see Fa'alongo, like a fullback like that, who has a reputation as doing the flashy stuff, right? But he is a Melbourne Storm fullback. Like, he works his ass off back there. I think Tane's work rate at the back is really good too. And then you see a Reece who has that same X factor as a Fa'alongo, but then other parts of the game probably costing him.
Yeah, I think he's a decent enough defender, Reece, when he wants to be. I don't think he was in this game.
No.
And yeah, I just really enjoyed watching Fa'alongo play, and I'm sure if I paid attention to the other fullbacks in the games as well, they would have done the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, Fa'alongo's work was impressive.
Yeah, not saying Walshy's a shit defender.
No, because he's not.
Last year down that stretch when they were winning games, he made some massive plays, but just the little things, right? Those little effort areas at times in games. Round 12, let's rip into this week. Only 5 games. Origin next Wednesday. Origin affected, so we'll roll through these because some of the teams are far from full strength, but we get treated to the Raiders versus the Finns for your Thursday night footy. Raiders $1.95, Finns $1.87. This one's in Canberra. Dolphins on a 3-game winning streak. They will take on the Raiders, though, down the Hammer, Maxi Plath, Selwyn Cobbo, and Thomas Flegler. Also, 8% Cody's Nikarima. He is out with an injury, so they will have to dig deep in this one. Luckily, Fine Fuiaki overlooked, basically, by Billy in a big call. Named in the 20-man, right, but he is released to play in this one, or he's named in the squad, but he can play in this game. The Raiders, meanwhile, they will be without Hudson Young and Ethan Strange, both on Blues duty. Raiders have won 3 of their last 4 against the Finns. Dolphins have conceded 12 points or less in their last 3 games. So defensive backbone from the Finns, which they're not really known for. For your try scorers, Jack Bostock, 4 tries in his last 3 games. Ko Weeks, 5 tries in his last 5 games. This, to me, is going to be an interesting one. When you look at both teams, yes, they're down troops, but there's still some good names in there. It's going to be interesting to see how those Raiders halves adjust. I'm a big fan of Dane Laurie. I think he does a good job.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I've liked what I've saw from Sanders so far to be able to run a team around. They've still got strike, right? Ko Weeks, Matty Timoko. They've still got players that can come up with points. Joseph Tapane, big red in the pack. They are no slouches, and that is the same with the Finns, right? Yes, they're down a hammer. Trey Fuller can produce magic. Jermaine Isaac, Herbie Farnworth, Bostock, Isaiah Katoa. This is a really tough one for me to pick. I think this is probably one of the games of the round.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's enough players in this game for both teams to actually warrant at least a conversation about either team winning. So, yeah, it is important. There's some big names missing. Simi Sasangi as well is a big out for the Raiders. He's been just impressive, very impressive. They are Raiders, coming off the bye as well.
Yep.
So that's an important part probably to play. Whether you think that the bye works in people's favour or it comes back to bite you, whether or not you think that. But yeah, I think it's a big game.
Play on or penalty, the Raiders logo still being on all the Magic Round merch over the weekend, and they were not at Magic Round.
Yeah, it was an interesting
Magic
one.
Round specific.
I was giving a lot of Raiders fans stick at times, and they all came back to me with the same response: 2 points.
True.
Just because obviously they didn't play. So.
Yeah, and they kind of need the 2 points.
They do.
Do you think last year's wooden spooners should be left off Magic Round? That's the way I see it.
That's not a bad.
I think as you come last, that's your punishment. As if the wooden spoon isn't bad enough. but then you don't get to play at Magic Round 2 because the players love playing it, and it must suck having
It must suck being the last game, though, as well. Like,
yeah.
the Panthers, Dragons, geez, there was some depressing...
I missed that game off. Shout out to the Dragons. They actually played pretty well.
And they should have scored on halftime. That was a dead set try.
Yes. It pissed down. You stuck it out. Well done to you. No one did.
No one did. It was empty. It was. I think there'd be under 10K there, I would have thought, for that game. So interesting. Some class plays by the Panthers down the stretch. Some uncharacteristic plays by Brian Toto on halftime. It was a little bit interesting.
Yeah, interesting one.
But yeah, the Dragons were pretty impressive, I thought.
Yeah, they were. Just popped up on my phone too. Well done to the Warriors. They've sold out their round 23 game against the Panthers Friday night at Go Media already.
Shit, actually, I was actually keen to go to that one. So
I will look after it, mate. Don't you worry about that. Friday night footy, just the one game. Which means good night for Super Rugby, which we'll touch on soon, but there's a big game that night. Yep. So Dogs take on the Storm. Dogs, $1.68 favourites. Storm, $2.20 underdogs. Dogs have lost 5 in a row. As I said, only averaging 14 points a game. Can they score enough points to beat the Storm?
Can't continue, can it?
They're on a 5-game streak. That's their worst since the middle of 2022. The Storm off back-to-back wins. Of course, no Harry Grant, no Cam Munster, no Trent Liero, which was an interesting origin selection.
I love him.
So does Billy, clearly.
Yeah.
Big Melbourne guy, as you'd imagine. But they still have Jerome Hughes, they have Suafalongo, they have Lasate, they have William Warbrick. I think they still have some points in them. Jacob Kidda is back for the Dogs after being out for 4 games with a knee injury, and Ari Tuala pushes into the centres in replace for Stephen Crichton, who, of course, out with the Blues. Keen to see Keegan Russell-Smith start at 5'8", his second NRL game. Trent Tolau gets to start at hooker, Cooper Clark at lock, and Gabriel Satrick makes his NRL debut. Rugby League Guru has big raps on this guy, and I like to trust Guru when he gives big raps because he watches a lot of cup and age grade footy. He ripped up in the preseason challenge, or he played well anyway. He's had 8 good games in New South Wales Cup this year, so he's one to watch. Moses Leo named on the wing as well, despite coming off early at Magic Round. Caught up with him the day after the game. Melbourne Storm were actually at my hotel, which was cool, or I was at their hotel.
I think that was probably that.
Or they were at the Warriors hotel.
Oh, we'll go with that.
Let's put it that way. So the buffet breakfast each morning was actually a who's who of rugby league featuring me, just happening to be there. But it's pretty funny. Like, you're eating your food, and there was a little outdoor area where you could eat as well. And literally hundreds of fans just watching people eat. It was Tigers, it was Panthers, it was Melbourne Storm, it was us. And yeah, there's just people lining up all along. Like,
did you have a yarns with anyone apart from Moses Leo?
I should have just, players-wise, said hi to Munster, he said hi back. It's funny, like, everyone probably just assumes that you're someone when you're in the hotel.
You wearing Warriors kit?
Nah, I wasn't at that stage, which was good. Most of the week.
Did he recognise you?
Nah, Nah, Cammy Munster would have. Had a good yarn with Moses, though, 5 or so minutes. He said his knee was going to be sweet, and it was nice for him to score a try and all that type of stuff.
I thought he played well
he did play well.
times.
So it's cool to see him get the nod. I tell you what, the May brothers, scary figures.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go at Taylor.
Big bodies,
yeah, he is.
But geez, they are characters. Like, the whole Tigers team just crowds around them, and they are non-stop entertainment. And my wife locked eyes with Benji, which is one of my claims to fame, and he gave her the sup.
He gave her the sup.
I think he could tell she was like a Kiwi or something, you know? But yeah, she was excited by that. Maybe it's Benji, that type of thing. But hey, I'll claim it. If Benji likes my wife, how good. Not saying he does. Married man. Good bloke. Anyway, back to the game. Dogs have only won 1 of their last 11 against Melbourne. They have lost 3 of their last 4 at a core. Some home ground for them. Warbrick, 4 tries in his last 5 games. I think the 220 on offer from Melbourne is pretty generous.
Don't mind it. Yeah, it's not the right. I wouldn't. If I was doing the odds, it wouldn't be that.
TAB have got it wrong, you reckon?
But the TAB often get it right.
Yep.
So we'll see.
We will see. Saturday doubleheader. Looking forward to this one. Warriors, $1.20. Dragons, $4.60. Wars, our glorious Wars, on a 5-game winning streak. Dragons, well, they are on the opposite. Warriors, of course, will be without Mitch Barnett, Curdy Capewell due to Origin, but luckily, shout out to Laurie Daly. Different way to look at it, right? Jacko Ford, you could say, is robbed. You could say Laurie, big Wars guy, doesn't want to take both of our middles from this game. He knows that we've got depth to cover it, but he's thinking Dragons, the Wahs don't want to be the team to lose to the Dragons, so I'm going to keep Jackson Ford in the club environment. I'm also going to put down any rumours that him and Wade were told to pack extra clothes that they will be staying on, and instead I'm going to allow Wade to back up and play club footy. So shout out to Laurie Daly. More on that shortly, of course, when we talk Origin sides. But we still have the likes of Aaron Clark, Fish, Leka, Demi, Jacob Laban, Eddie, Marata. That 4-pack is still stacked despite losing our 2 Origin reps. No Tanah Boyd, ACL, Tamaite Martin in the 7. As for the Dragons, look, they're still searching for that first win of the year. I thought they were good on the weekend, though, or a whole lot better. That young forward pack is impressive, and I think while they might not go toe-to-toe with us, they'll give us a damn good fight because I thought they gave the Panthers pack a bit of trouble at times, too. Like the Couchman brothers, Dylan Egan, they're good to watch.
They're going to make it difficult for us. Like, when I was watching the Dragons, I actually, first 25 minutes, we were saying, shit, they're on here. Like, and it's not about whether they look good or not. They actually were just battling and winning little moments like that. And I feel like the Warriors can be susceptible sometimes to that. Like, we would drop off in little moments. I'm not saying that we will or we will lose this game.
Warriors of old.
Okay, yeah.
I think we've seen enough.
I
know
think
we got carried away when we played the
dominate.
Tigers, right? And we said similar things and then we lost.
I think we're going to dominate the game and we're going to win the game. I'll say that. But I just mean that I feel like the Dragons will give us a little bit of tough moments and we'll have to fight through some stuff. And
I've had people saying like 50 plus this week. It's basically another bye. How good? I don't think so.
Far from.
And I'll be stoked if it is, but I think the Dragons will put up a fight. And I think they showed on the weekend against Penrith that they aren't always a walkover.
And they've only lost Moses Sully.
Yes, exactly.
So
that is an edge I think we attack. Jaden Sewer named in the centres. Yep. He will partner up with Setu too. We're going to have Adam Pompey. That's the Chanel Adam Pompey
we should
side
absolutely
there
rip
with
that
AKP. Like AKP's speed up against the Jaden Sewer in the centres. We should rip that to shreds. I am a Setu 2 fan. I think he's been playing well for them. He can come up with a few errors and poor defensive reads, but on attack he is dangerous. But Jaden Sewer, good footballer. I think our edge should pick that side apart.
Yeah, and I would be absolutely booting spirals at Setu 2. He dropped 2 of them on the weekend. I'd just be just do it. Like if we're getting to that moment where we need a high kick.
And Chanel has a good high kicking game.
Just do it.
So we might miss Tanah Boyd's kicking game there, but I thought Chanel stepped up really well.
We'll be
It's funny, with Tanah, we'd been in the 700s, on the weekend we were like 570, but we still out-kicked Adam Reynolds as a duo, so we still won the kicking battle.
Which isn't the easiest thing to do.
No, it is not. Agreed. Eddie Idamaya, Toiava, Luke Hansen, Marata Neil Corday on the 6-man bench. RTS floating around on the extended, so it'll be interesting to see if he is able to come back. Good to see Jacob Laban get a start too. Another of these guys, like 100% first grader, just suffering due to how deep our squad is at the moment. So cool to see him get another opportunity. Dragons have won 3 of their last 4 against us at Cogra. We've won 4 of our 5 games in Australia so far this year. Christian Tuipolotu, 5 tries in his last 6 games at Cogra. Dallin, 10 tries in his last 6 games. Dragons have scored 20 points or less in each of their last 6. I think for us, right, and we say it each week, but the recipe is simple.
Yep.
Dominate the middle, roll through their forward pack.
No complacency.
Yeah, it won't be easy. Complete high, generate ruck speed, allow our spine to create plays off the back of that. Interesting with Wade, and we mentioned the head knock. I believe he's fine. He's in there. He's available to play. But Micaiah Taufa named on an extended again. And he's been named on the extended a few times now. But there could be, I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked if a Sam Healy perhaps played bigger minutes again this week like he did last week.
I would go with Sam Healy. I just would give Wade off.
And bring Micaiah in.
Yeah, I would just...
14 jersey. He's a bloody good footballer. I'll be keen to see him debut and then freshen Wade up for the Panthers.
100%.
Part of me says that's nerve-wracking, got to beat the Dragons, but also that's kind of what I was hinting at there. Wouldn't be surprised if Webby either did that or just lessen the load a little bit more on Wado, and you start him. We hopefully score some points and use his playmaking ability, and then you kind of pull him from there. Wade's from Penrith too. He'll want a big game against the Panthers next week.
This is an important game for the Warriors.
100%.
There's no denying that this is actually going to be a tougher game than what people think.
And you best believe there is still a truck full of haters in New Zealand waiting for us to drop a game like this so that they can say,
it is a big game. I just want to see us win. Like, whether it's by 4, like it doesn't actually matter as long as we win. I know we're going to want to win more comfortably.
Yeah,
but we just have to win this game.
Get the 2 points. Yep. Come end of round 27. 100%. Who cares how we did it? It's just that we won. And then Panthers next week bye. This is a big win. We said 2 from 3 post the bye. This would be the 2, which makes next week free money almost. That's going to be a great game. Can't wait to be at that. I'm actually going Origin and then to that game. So
lucky.
What an absolute treat. Manly versus Titans. Manly's depth out wide tested a little. No Tolu Kola, no Lehigh Hopewadi suspended. Homoli Olakuatu, of course, in Origin as well. For the Titans, they've shown a bit of promise. I thought they were pretty good last week as well. They just dropped off in the second half. Shout out to Mo Fotuaika, who will become the club's most capped player. Overtakes Mark Minicello, 174 games for the Titans. He will skipper them, no Big Tino. I just think Manly, they've won 6 out of their last 7 under Foz. And yes, Kola, yes, Homole, yes, Hopewadi, all big losses. But I just think Fozball, baby, like whoever he puts in, like Clayton Faulolo has been going outstanding. It's like they grow another arm and a leg under Foz. Confidence.
Yeah, they're a great side. Like, they just look so good when they go side to side. They're just unreal. Like, they just use their speed, which we knew they had, and yeah, Foz has just got them humming.
Yeah, I'll be back in Manly in that one. And then Cows Bunnies to round us out. This one could be an interesting one. Cowboys look really good up at Magic Round without Tommy Dearden. They will be without Ruben Cotter this week as well. And good news, though, they do get back Taumalolo from his rest. For the Bunnies, they were disappointing last week. They'll be without Cam Murray. Still no Latrell, still no Campbell Graham. Tallis Duncan moves to the centres. Penatani gets a debut on the wing. Adam Elliott in the second row. AJ back. Cowboys have won their last 3 against the Bunnies. The Rabbitohs undefeated in their last 2 games at Queensland Country Bank, though. Dufty, 100th NRL game if he gets on. Toddy Payton, 150th as coach. Drinkwater, 6 tries in his last 7 games. I think Cows there, but this is also a Cowboys game that they would lose.
100%. Yeah, it is. So it is interesting. There's enough talent in that Cowboys side to be able to win the game, though. And they have a good record against the Bunnies, you just said, I believe. So, yeah.
Tipping. Last week, we went into it 15 and 11. You on 15, me on 11.
I actually don't know what you're about to say. Like, I haven't, because we didn't talk much over the weekend.
Yeah.
We were quite busy, so I actually don't know what the score is.
So you went in with a 4-point buffer, basically, which meant that you got to pick and then pick the margin. Sharks, Dogs, we both went Sharks. You went Sharks by 10, I went under. You got that one.
16.
Bunnies, Finns, we both went Finns. Henry went Finns by 8, I went under. You get it.
I actually didn't know this.
Tigers v Manly. We both went Manly. You went by 14. I went over. I get that one.
Oh, I thought you were about to say over again.
Cowboys, Roosters. We both went the Roosters. Cows win. You had Roosters by 16 and thought it was light, and you were surprised when I went under. So that was the one that we both got wrong out of the whole round. That was the only one. So
yeah, on my tipping app, I was actually quite pleased when I went on the tipping app and saw that I only got one wrong.
Yeah, we had a great round.
Yeah.
We both went the Storm. You went by 12. I went by under. Congratulations, you got that one. We both went the Knights. You went by 14. I went over. I got that one. Both went the Wars. You went by 12. I went over. I got that one. And then we both went the Panthers. You went 24. I went over. So you get that one as well.
Because it was 24 exactly, wasn't it?
Yeah, or 22.
I thought it was 24, but it might have been 22. But yeah.
So congratulations. You won the week 4-3. And you now have a 5 lead.
So it's
19-14.
Oh, it's just I actually thought I was the unders this week. So I was kind of coming into the second it, but
no, you did
happy
well.
Days. But it was a good week in tipping from both of us, really. There wasn't much in a lot of those.
It was. Origin, just quickly, because we'll do a proper preview on the Monday, right? But my New South Wales thoughts, I like our starting side. I don't really get our bench. I don't think Saifidi and Radley are necessary when you think of the players we have in our pack and our rotation. I like starting with Adam Fanua, Blake and Mitch Barnett. I then think an Isaiah Yeo will move into prop when Adam goes off and a Cam Murray will come on, so I don't really see the point in having a Saifidi and a Radley through the middle. I think Jackson Ford is basically those two players combined. Shout out to Laurie Daly, who clearly never watched a Jackson Ford game prior to this year, saying he can't play on the edge. He's just a middle. He's actually played, I believe, 10 more games on the edge than he has in the middle, so... Great to see Laurie. Also doesn't know who Casey McLean is, only knows Casey Maguire. That does not fill me with confidence. But I like our starting side. I don't like our bench just because I don't get the rotation. And Saifidi and Radley, good players. Like Radley kind of built for Origin, right? He's a bit of a nutter. But I think Jacko Ford should be in there. And I think Keon Kolomatangi should have been in there too.
I think Keon should have been in there, but I disagree on Jackson Ford.
Really?
It might be an unpopular opinion. I just think that, I mean, if he was going to start... If he was going to start Jackson Ford and play him 60 to 80 minutes,
to me.
If he was going to do that, that would make sense to me. Like, but he's not an impact player for 20 minutes off the bench, Jackson Ford. So unless he thought that Jackson Ford was going to play over 60 minutes in the game in a starting role, I think he's made the right decision.
See, I reckon I would have started with Jacko and Adden. I'd bring Barney on for Adden. Jacko then goes...
55 or something?
55, 60-ish. Isaiah Yeo then moves into prop, or Adam comes back on for his second stint.
And Cameron Murray goes.
And then Cam Murray into lock.
Yeah, see, I see that. But like I said, that
and then
the
you
way
buy
that,
a bench spot, right?
The way that Jackson Ford would have been on the bench, I don't think that's pointless. No. So I just think that he's made the right decision based on what he's got. But I would like to see him in.
I will say Jacko actually went well off the bench on the weekend.
Yeah, he did.
And we kind of queried that a little bit. But yeah, I think Keon I would have just swapped Saifidi and Radley out, started Jacko, had Keon in on the bench. But apart from that, I do like our team. I'm a little bit worried about our height on the edges, but at the same time, Kohler gives us some express speed, which I think New South Wales have lacked a little bit at times. I like Tedesco and his combo with Robson kind of just trucking around the ruck, but he is quite ball dominant, so I think this week of prep is going to be huge for New South Wales in terms of establishing a pecking order of our ball players, who gets the ball in certain zones and when they want it, but I do like our team. My feedback on your team, I think Lukey and Fine Fuiaki really unlucky. I think Sam Walker at 7 is exciting. I think if Reece Walsh was going to be a fullback, then we might have seen a Clifford or someone like that, a bit more structural. I think KP, yes, a lot of razzle, but he's a bit more reliable. And I think then you had to go with a Sam Walker to kind of get some of that off the cuff. My only concerns with your spine is no real long kicking game. Like KP has a good boot on him, but Sam Walker and Munster aren't big punters of the ball. They're more a short kicking game. And then I don't get the Trent Leero decision.
Yeah, it's interesting. I agreed with a lot of what Billy Slater decided. I would have had Walsh on the bench.
Yep.
Because I think I had KP on the bench originally.
Yeah.
I think. And Walsh at fullback. There's no reason having Shibasaki there.
No.
I don't think there's point of that at all. I would have just had Reece Walsh there to come on for 20 minutes and we can shift some stuff around. And
Shibba's out of form.
He's out of form, yeah. It doesn't really make sense. Other than that, though, there's some... I mean, Fuiaki would have been on my list, and I think Lukey was as well when I picked it.
Yeah.
Apart from that, I like it. Tom Flegler is an Origin player.
Yeah.
He's an Origin player, and there's... I mean, Kurt Capel, Ruben Cotter. We've seen Ruben Cotter play on the edge in Origin level, so yeah.
Oh, don't get me wrong. It's still a great team.
Yeah, no complaints
there. Just a couple questions.
Jojo Fifita's had a good season.
Really good.
Really
good
good season.
Lightning quick.
Yeah, I just wouldn't have picked him. That's just me. I wouldn't have picked him, but yeah, I would have had Val Holmes in there, but that's just me. Apart from that, though, yeah, Trent Leero, another one that doesn't really make sense. He's not going to bring you that much impact off the bench. I would have had Corey Horsburgh to bring a bit of biff and come on against Victor Radley. That's what I would have done, but yeah.
I think the Walsh on the bench is a great shout.
Yep.
That's what I would have done. Imagine being down by 4 points with 20 minutes to go. You move KP to lock like he's done for Queensland before, and you unleash Reece Walsh when he's chasing a game. That would be insane. And yeah, Shibasaki for me, out of form. So I don't really get it, but we'll dive more into it on your Monday. Also, just quickly, Vegas games announced. Jesus. As a mutual fan,
I won't be going.
You have zero incentive to go. Para versus the Titans, Storm versus the Tigers. Battle of the West, Para versus Tigers makes a whole lot more sense. Who in their right mind is going to watch Parramatta? I don't even think Titans fans will travel for that.
No, it's just rubbish.
The Titans have fans. That's another question. No Finns. Finns miss out. So they are the one team left. Deal ends 2028, so they will be going then. You'd think maybe the Perth Bears go as well, because that was the other team not left. PNG, do you send them there to kick off their season? Probably not. I reckon their first game should be at home, Port Moresby. So that means 2 teams will get a rerun. I wonder, if the Wars get another crack at it, if they reward the 2 teams that brought the most fans and the most hype.
Yeah, they might do. It's on.
I hope so. I'd like to go back to Vegas. I've finally recovered. That would be good. Super Rugby.
Tips.
Shit. Tips for this week.
Tipping, yeah, we must
do it.
Great
call. Let's do it. You pick.
And does this include Origin? Because Origin's going to be before our normal preview tipping next week.
Yep. Let's do Origin. Let's chuck that in there.
Okay. Well, it doesn't really matter because we both know who we're going to pick for Origin. So
yeah, we're both going the Blues, so then it'll be about margin.
Yeah. Grow up. All right. Here we go. The Raiders. So it's 1915?
1914.
Brilliant. And I've got to pick margin again as well, don't I?
You do.
I'm going the Raiders.
I'll go the Finns.
Okay, sweet. And we're gonna be split on this too. I'm going the Bulldogs.
I'll go the Storm.
Yeah, sweet. I'm going the Warriors.
I'm going the Warriors.
I'm gonna go by 20.
See, this pulls.
That's a good margin. That's a good margin, I think.
Because I'm 13 plus all the time.
Yeah, but I think
I can go under and still be 13 plus.
Yeah, but it's whether you think that we're going to win by more than that. I'm going 20.
I will go under. I think we beat them by 18.
Okay, sweet.
That hurts.
I'm going the Seagulls.
I'm also going the Seagulls.
I'll go by 18.
Under. I was going to go 12, so I'll take that. But you've been fucking good with your margins.
Yeah, I have been. Well, I wasn't the first couple of weeks.
No, but last week you killed it.
And then I'm going to go the Cowboys.
Yep, I'll go the Cows too.
I'll go by 10.
I'm going to go by more.
Okay. Sweet, there's your tips. Oh, instead of Origin, I'm going Queensland.
Yeah, and I'll go New South Wales. So there we go. That was a bit easier this week.
Yep. Well, there's not as many games, but yeah.
And easy could mean it's bad. Tangitau.
Yeah.
Let's start there for your super, and this will be a bit quicker with your super review because we were both at Magic Round. But this is the big talking point from the weekend for me. Absolutely devastated. Basically, past the 80 minutes, he was 80 minutes away from wearing a black jersey this year. And this is, again, much like Tanah Boyd, but almost even crueler. Just the heartbreaking nature of sport, right? This guy had an exceptional season. He was, I would say, guaranteed to wear the jersey because you mentioned Dave Rennie off air. We were talking about what he said in his press conference. He likes guys, counter-attack, X-factor. That is Tangi. And the fact that it was just, the game was a hiding, everything about this just hurts.
Yeah, I got a notification during the game, and it said All Blacks Bolter, All Blacks Shewan are saying does Achilles injury, and I was going, oh no, who is it? And then it was Tangitau, and it was just heartbreaking for him. And yeah, he was destined to wear the number 14 jersey, I would have thought. The way that Rennie's spoken so much about his counter-attacking style and how he wants to sort of bring back the free-flying rugby, I guess, that's in New Zealand's DNA. So yeah, heartbreaking for him. I've got no doubt that he's going to return and he'll play for the All Blacks eventually. No doubt. He's young. He's still got a lot of rugby in front of him. But yeah, heartbreaking.
Does this open up the door for a Canes winger? And while it could be fair, does it open up a Kini Noholo?
Or Josh Morby. Josh
Morby. But even Kinney again on the week, I will love watching him play, and he's kind of been around that All Blacks 15 environment too.
I doubt they'll pick Kinney.
Yeah.
I would have thought it probably, I know he's been injured, but I think it actually opens the door a little bit more for Shea Fihaki. I know that the high ball's been talked about so much with Dave Rennie, and Shea Fihaki's a quick player and runs the ball well, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's him, but yeah, I just couldn't believe it.
Someone like a Petafeta kind of gets in again because you could just roll with outsides, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like a Will Jordan can play on the wing.
I do think that's what they're going to do, by the way. I do think they'll put Will Jordan on the right wing, Damien at fullback, and then they'll make the decision between Bodie and Ruben Love at first 5.
Ruben. Has to be Ruben, form side. And we saw that matchup on the weekend, and the Hurricanes certainly got the better of them. Just a quick shout out Wallace Satiti as well. I thought he was exceptional in that Chiefs game. I'm a massive fan. I've been bumped off by him about 50 times, and it's good to see him doing it at the top level too. It's real justification for my club battler career. But the Canes, to me, were so impressive. And while the Blues weren't,
that's a key thing of this.
Exactly. But we've mentioned, like, I've been rambling on about it, the Hurricanes style of play and how good they are to watch. It was on again. Like, they are just such a treat to watch. Their ability to shift to edges, their skill set, their style of play is so entertaining. And it seems like every week, even with tweaks, no Roygaard.
Yeah, that was big.
Next player in, outstanding performance, and the machine just keeps on rolling. They are so good.
Yeah, they're really good. And Eddie Anare, I saw him say post-match, he was like, I don't read the media. I don't know. It doesn't matter to me that Roygaard was out. And well, I actually believe it for him. Like, I feel like he's the kind of player that he's like, because he was asked whether it mattered that Cameron Roygaard was out of the team, and now people were worried that the Canes weren't going to be out. And he was like, I don't, it doesn't matter to me. I'm just there to do my job, and I did my job, and we won by 23. So yeah, that was great. I think the Hurricanes, they're just so well coached. Yeah. And I think a lot of credit needs to be going to Clark Laidlaw, but I also think the wider coaching group of their group is unreal. Jamie McIntosh, the forwards coach, is highly regarded in the rugby sort of circles. He's done All Blacks 15 coaching with Jamie Joseph, so he's a very good forwards coach. Brent Evans is the line-out coach, and they're one of the best line-outs in the competition. And he was the All Blacks line-out coach when that was improved last year. Then you got Corey Jane, then you got Jason Holland. Like, if you think of those group, it's just a very impressive coaching group. So they've sort of got all bases covered. Yeah. So yeah, they're impressive, and they really look like the team to beat, to be honest.
Yeah, they do. It's kind of got to the territory where, look, I want the Chiefs to win it, but I also kind of want the Canes to win it just because of how impressive they've been this year.
They deserve to win it.
And if they don't go to a final, it's almost like disappointing, right? If they don't get right through. Geez, you don't want to finish sixth this year.
No, you don't. And the Force had a win over the Reds. I know. We did pick that, didn't we?
Yes, we did. And we love tipping the Force. Well, I do. I love tipping them for an upset. I actually tipped out Tizano to score and the Force to win too, which was a nice little payday. Because if the Force win, Tizano scores.
And the Waratahs?
I saw Zach Lomax get shotted, though.
He did. Yeah.
That was good to see. Tars.
50 on the drawer.
Go to Fiji and put 50 on. I did not tip that. That's for damn sure.
I don't think we've tipped the Tars all year.
Nah. That was a huge performance to keep their season alive as well. They're in 7th, 2 points behind the Reds now. So the Force did the Tars a favour, but that was after the Tars had taken care of business. So it's a big finals run home.
Yeah, if we look at the games this week, Crusaders, Chiefs. I have the team list for the Chiefs.
Yeah, because we're recording this, just a heads up before teams are named.
Yeah.
And hopefully you're listening to this before teams are named as well.
Yeah, so that you can get the under embargo.
Yeah, there we go.
But it'll be up after 4 o'clock anyway.
Yes, it will.
Damian McKenzie's out with concussion, obviously from last week. Josh Lord returns. Tupou Vai's in there. And then if I just go down, Ollie Norris, Tupou Vai, Simon Penny-Finau, Luke Jacobson, Wallace Satiti, very strong. Loose forward trio, Cortez Ratama, Josh Jacob.
Yep.
Isaac Hutchison at the back, Kyle Brown, Quinta Pire's back, Karen Taumui Falau on the left wing. Strong bench, Arcoy, Simon Parker, Xavier Rowe, who I believe has signed a deal overseas.
Yep, he's off. I think Iri Inari is off as well.
I believe that could be the case. I'm not sure whether these are confirmed.
But I know of a 9 that's been approached to go to the Canes.
Oh, yeah, so there you go.
There you go.
Yeah, Damian McKenzie, I think he'll miss a couple of weeks. I don't think they'll bring him back before the playoffs.
That is massive. And when you look at these odds, the Crusaders are at $2. If they have a Will Jordan back, and we don't have their team right now, but if they get like Will the Thrill back, he's due, right? This week or next. That $2.
Scott Barrett too.
That $2 is appealing.
Yeah.
Like McKenzie is a market mover. That 4-pack is stacked, but the Crusaders 4-pack never backed down to anyone. They got some good names in there too. Like D-Mac would make a world of a difference here.
Another sold out under the roof.
Yeah, sick to see.
One New Zealand Stadium. Did you didn't go there, but you were...
I was there on the Friday night.
Yeah.
Hosted a 660 Q&A, so there was no footy. Nice. It was cool to see it set up for a concert.
It looks good for a concert?
Yeah, it looks great. Got to say, Michelob Ultra in the fridges down there.
Yeah, how good.
As if I didn't love that place enough. I love it even more now, but yeah, such a sick... And like next week will sell out too, Crusaders Canes.
Absolutely.
So it's cool just to see, yes, it's still hype, you could say.
Yeah.
but it's people getting around the stadium as much as it is the Crusaders, because when you look at their season, like, it's been a little bit different. They're in 4th.
I had some non-sporting fans, family, go to the rugby last week at the Blues game, or a couple of weeks back. Loved it. They absolutely loved it. Said the stadium was the stadium was great, and because I know that me and you are excited, and a lot of other sports fans are excited. But for someone to go who isn't a sports fan to enjoy the experience in the stadium is big props. So that's good.
Who wins that game? I'm gonna go the Crusaders without D-Mac.
Yeah, I'm gonna go the Crusaders too. Brumbies Tars.
Big game.
Huge game.
Brums off a bye.
Brums off a bye.
Is the Superfood back? I'm going to go the Tars.
Yeah, I think the Tars win too.
Which means they will lose. Which means they will lose. They're 215 underdogs.
The Reds should bounce back against Moana Saturday afternoon.
Hopefully Sam Tuitupo released to play for Northcote.
I doubt that.
Troops at the moment.
I doubt that.
That's a bummer.
I don't know that.
Okay, good. I thought you just broke my heart live. But if Moana get up.
Canes, Highlanders. Cane train will just roll on. But it is the Highlanders' last game. I believe they've got a bye in the final round.
Yeah,
they do. So last game of the season for them.
Into a Mad Monday. Crazy how much a Mad Monday can inspire a bunch of
lads. They can't make it. Well, they can mathematically, but they won't. They've got to win a bonus point this weekend.
The law of a bender can bring the best out of a team. So look out. But I'll back the Canes. They're $1.06 favourites.
Force should beat the draw at home.
Yes, they should. So that'll keep the finals picture really interesting.
Yep, and then we'll go into that next week about the finals picture.
We will. Speaking of finals, AFC, now's your moment.
Oh, what a weekend.
Home final.
What a weekend. Yeah, home final, which I wasn't sure about for a lot of the time. I had a stressful Sky Go experience in between games at Suncorp on Saturday night where Sydney beat Newcastle on a penalty shootout, which means the finals in New Zealand. So saved me a lot of money. I've told a couple of people that it...
How did you feel at the time knowing you'd probably spent a couple grand in Aussie at Magic Round? Those tequila slushies probably not cheap.
Not cheap.
And then you're staring down the barrel because you are that big of an AFC fan. You would have travelled for the final. The relief. Were you then like, let's drop the clutch even more? Slushies
a little bit.
Boys?
There was a couple of those, but it felt like, I said this to you, that it felt like I had a $1,200 punt on Sydney.
Yeah.
Because it was like, if Newcastle beat Sydney, the flights and accommodation was going to cost that much. So, great win. Auckland FC, though, 3-0 against Adelaide.
Huge.
Incredible performance. Tough place to go. Everyone wrote them off. Great win. And first A-League final in New Zealand. The Phoenix women were in one last week, unfortunately lost. But, just incredible, man. Like,
so what's your itinerary like on Saturday?
I got a football game on Saturday afternoon. 12 kickoff, done by 2. Should be at the ferry by 3. And, the rest is history, really. Should be...
Back-to-back big weekend.
26K. It'll be sold out, but there's temporary seats going up.
Yeah.
So that should take it to 27, I would have thought, 28. 8:10 kickoff to please those bloody Australians with their kickoff times and TV audience and stuff. But, should be a good one.
Wires on Sky Go.
Wires on Sky Go. I get to see the first half of them.
But this is the perfect excuse to have it on Sky Go.
Well, hopefully.
I'll allow it this week.
Well, hopefully the Warriors absolutely blitz the Dragons in the first half.
Yeah, and then you can watch
and then I'm like, sweet ass.
Seriously, though, I hope the AFC get up. Like, I've only been to a couple of games, and they're derby games, so I'm not a die-hard fan like you. In fact, I'm probably bandwagon, but I will certainly be watching some of this game on the weekend. And it would just be so sick for New Zealand sport, right? And for football in New Zealand and for the AFC. Like, after last year, I felt like it was a little bit of a disappointment when they didn't go as far as they should.
Might have helped them this year.
Yeah, this year is almost like the reverse, right? The hype wasn't as big during the regular season, still played really well. But it's like they kind of came in a little bit under the radar in terms of expectation in Auckland or in New Zealand to get this far. And now it seems like, to me anyway, like it's like a bonus game. It's like, holy shit, AFC are hosting a final. You got to get to it type vibe.
Yeah, tickets went absolutely nuts. Lucky enough to get mine. What I was going to say, Auckland FC in extra time for me.
Oh.
So I don't think it'll go to penalties. Yep. I think we'll win in extra time.
I saw we'd bet them twice, 3 draws.
We haven't lost to them.
Yeah.
It's a completely different game. Steve Corica's old side and stuff. I will say the biggest change in what could happen is actually winning the toss at the start of the game. Because if Auckland FC...
As a head tosser, that's what I like to hear.
If Auckland FC attacks the Port end, the South Stand end, second half, like needing a result, that'll tip it. But if it's the other way around, because often if the other team wins the toss, they switch it so that Auckland FC don't attack the Port in the second half.
They should fuck off the no flares rule for this one.
Oh, absolutely.
And just let you guys in the Port run amok.
Oh, it's just going to be great. Can't wait.
OKC went down to the Spurs yesterday, game one of the other series, East going on today. But I will say, as a mutual fan now, this Spurs Thunder series is the final, and I'm loving watching it already after one game. Wemby is a freak, double OT, 122, 115, 41 points, 24 boards. I love the little beef he's got going with Chet.
Yeah, it's good, eh?
This is going to go, I reckon, right down to the wire. A big game to lose first up at home, though.
Yeah, it was. It was disappointing. I was riding every bucket home. How good was that Wemby 3 from the Steph Curry logo almost?
Oh, the guy's a freak, eh? And then the dunks that he's pulling off. Like, you expect those, but the threes from the logo, no De'Aaron Fox, so that was a huge result. But OKC had some moments there where you'd probably think they'll be better moving forward.
Yeah, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, MVP, by the way, said he was asked after the game and he said he was just well off it. And it's crazy that your MVP can have an off game and sort of get that close.
Yeah.
So he'll try to be better. And what a game though.
Yeah.
Playoff basketball, you can't beat it.
That is going to be some series.
Yeah,
you reckon
absolutely.
it goes 7?
Now I do.
Yeah.
I didn't originally because I said that I don't think the Spurs could beat us 4 times. But I'm now thinking that...
It's pretty crazy. Like, if the Spurs get up and win this, like, those are 2 young teams that are just going to dominate for ages.
I think we're going to win one of the games away from home.
Well, you're going to need to now.
So
right?
if we win this home game, then I think
Thursday.
Yeah.
Yep.
It'll be interesting.
Interesting. Well, as I'm kind of hoping the Spurs get up. I don't hate the Thunder like a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Because I like SGA, I like J-Dub, I like Caruso, I like Chet, but it'd be kind of cool to see...
They're going to win for the next 10 years, so give us this one, and then you can win for the next 10.
There we go. That's the pod, a little bit longer, but of course no Monday pods, so we had a lot to get through. Remember, the TAB code this week is CHIP. Bulldogs, Storm, any bet. Get your money back if it doesn't win. Get up the AFC. Get up the Wars.
Absolutely.
Enjoy your sport. There is so much to sink the teeth into. Fuck, Conor McGregor's coming back. Didn't even talk about that. But there is a lot on. We will be back on Monday. Sully set a 6, debriefing a famous win, and you might even be in an AFC jersey still on the piss.
Could be.
I would love to see that. But enjoy the weekend. How good.